This is the indoor circuit of an air conditioner that a customer brought to me. The complaint is that it doesn't work with the remote control. Here is its remote control. The customer has to turn on the air conditioner repeatedly using the indoor button. Let's see what the problem is in it, and let's fix it. And let me show you one more thing. This circuit was taken to another repair technician before coming to me for repair. You can see that a lot of work has been done on it. The previous technician soldered it, probably thinking that some pins had dry solder joints, which is why he resoldered them. However, despite this, the circuit could not be repaired. Now, I will turn on this circuit. I have connected all the necessary connections and also attached the transformer. Because its transformer didn't come with it, that is why I have attached one to it. Everything is set up and ready. After powering it on, these 3 lights on the display started to glow. The lights will stay on for a while, and then they turn off. Since the remote isn't working, I will turn it on using its emergency switch. As soon as I pressed the button, the red light on the display started to glow. Now, I will try to turn off this circuit using the remote. The circuit is not responding to the remote. The display has an IR receiver, which is responsible for receiving signals from the remote control and passing them to the microcontroller. As I showed you earlier, another technician had worked on this circuit, but I believe the problem isn't in the circuit itself. Here, in the display, a capacitor is mounted, and it is completely corroded. The pins of the IR receiver are also corroded. I'll open the display from its plastic cover, and then let's see the condition of the backside of this circuit because I feel like there might be a lot of corrosion even from below. I'll clean this corrosion from the capacitor, and if possible, I'll also replace the IR receiver with a new one. I've removed the display from its cover, and as you can see, the backside of the display circuit is also full of corrosion. First of all, I'll clean this corrosion. After cleaning it, I'll change these components.
1 hour later.
I've fixed the circuit board, and now there's no issue with it. But let me first tell you how I fixed this circuit board. First, I'll tell you which components I replaced in this circuit board. Then, I'll explain what the issue was. As I showed you earlier, it had a lot of corrosion. I had to swap out the IR receiver since it was heavily corroded. I also replaced the capacitor for the same reason. The center pin of the IR receiver serves as the ground pin, the right pin is VSS, where it should get 5 volts, and the left pin is its output. I'll now connect the display connector to the circuit board. Then, I'll explain the actual issue that was happening with it. Let me hold the circuit in this vise. Now, you might be thinking that I didn't show the circuit by turning it on with the remote. I'll show you that in the last to confirm that it's fixed. But before that, let me tell you what the issue was. Let me zoom the camera on the circuit. There's a transistor mounted over here on this display. This is an NPN transistor. 5 volts pass through the IR from here. This trace is connected to the ground. When I checked it with a multimeter, there were 5 volts present at the output. However, the IR also requires 5 volts to operate. There are 2 SMD resistors mounted here. One is 330 ohms, and the other was 23 kiloohms, which I replaced with a 22 kiloohms resistor. Now, when I check the voltages on these traces with the resistor, there are 4.7 volts. But previously, there were no voltages here. When I checked the 330 ohms resistor with the multimeter earlier, it seemed fine. But I replaced it anyway, and after that, the display started working fine. No voltages were coming through here. However, the NPN transistor was outputting voltages. This means one of these resistors was faulty, but I replaced both with new ones. Let me now demonstrate how the display works with the remote. Here, you can see the display is working. The display turns off when I press the power button on the remote. Pressing it again turns the display back on. So, we have successfully fixed this circuit. If you are willing to support the channel, you can buy me coffee, visit Patreon. Click on the left or right thumbnail to watch our next videos. And subscribe. Thank you.